A packed MCG, the only vacant seats at the moment are at the top of the Western Stand, so my estimate round about the 80,000 mark here, and they should see a crackerjack game. Let's go to the boundary. It's Dipper with Greg Williams, the Diesel.
Thanks very much, Peter. Well, Diesel, a big crowd. He should be playing, but a broken arm.
Yeah, the arm's breaking, but, you know, we've still got a good team out there, and we're looking forward to a huge game today, Dipper.
Now, yourself, what, 5 or 6 weeks before you come back?
Oh, yeah, they say 4 to 6 to heal, and maybe a bit longer, but, you know, hopefully he'll heal quickly, and I'll be back out there.
Now, Kernahan out, Diesel Williams out, and also Luke O'Sullivan's out. The odds are against you today.
Oh, yeah, they're a couple of key players, but, you know, we've still got a terrific team, and we're, like I said, we've won 6 in a row, and no, the boys are quietly confident and looking forward to, you know, coming up against the Bombers and putting in a good effort.
And what do you think the side has changed from last year? Last year you won some good games as well. Do you think you've had some pace?
Oh, we have. We've got a lot of young blokes who have fitted in, you know, who are quick, and, you know, we rotated the centre a bit different this year with Ratton, Brown, Bradley, you know, different players like that, and Camporelli on the wing who can really run, and, you know, we're looking better, and, you know, it'll be interesting to see how we go against the...
Now, everybody in Australia wants to know, do you want to play in the centre or around the forward line?
Oh, no, I'd love to play in the centre still, but no, it's been a good year. I like kicking a goal too, so I've kicked a couple this year, which helps, but no, I think I'm a centre and only, Dipper.
OK, back to you, Pete.
Just before you go, Dipper, who are you going for?
I'm going for the Bombers.
OK, mate. And good afternoon to Peter McKenna.
Good afternoon, Pete. Good afternoon, Roscoe.
Pete, how are you?
I'm looking forward to this, and I agree with Greg that although Carlton have a couple of players out, they've won some big games in the past without Steve Kernahan, so I think we're in for a great contest.
Essendon going left in the first quarter. Ross, who are you going for?
I'm going the Bombers, Pete. I just think they just have a better contribution around the ground.
And I'm also. Oh, there's Paul Salmon wearing the gloves too, and it'll be interesting to see who lines up on Salmon.
I don't recall seeing him playing gloves before. I could be wrong.
Well, it looks like Sexton's going onto him, and Silvani down to the back pocket.
Mitchell going to the bench.
Dean Rice.
So is Rice and Adam for Carlton. So earlier in the week, the Bureau was forecasting periods of rain today. It did rain heavily in Melbourne overnight, and it blew a gale. Umpire Carey just about set to bounce the ball.
Pretty bright at the moment, though, Pete.
Yes, it's
the clouds are very high.
Not as bad as it was this morning. Carlton runner already going out. The first bounce, Carlton and Essendon from the MCG. Essendon going left in the first quarter. Madden up high. Oh, collision between two Carlton teammates down there. Clappe comes out with the football past Wanganeen, kicks to half forward, punch away by Simons. Ola Renshaw, a little flick out to Simons, and the Bombers will go forward. Michael Long takes it from Grenville. Still they come. This is Hills. Cockatoo Collins the target. Very nearly took the mark. Great effort to take that grab in front of Ange Christou, and it's out of bounds, almost in Essendon's right forward pocket. Pretty hard to pick a wind advantage. A northwesterly at the moment, so probably favouring the end to which Essendon is going, although, of course, it does swirl here at the MCG. Dean kicks up towards half-back. Essendon with the numbers, and that'll be a free kick.
Yes, free kick, no doubt about that one to Michael Long. And there's a huge Essendon contingent here today. The short pass is on. Oh, look at this. No one picking him up. Paul Salmon, not a Carlton player within 40 metres of him.
Sexton got caught in a congested area, Pete, trying to get hold of him. The Essendon players almost blocked him off, which was intelligent play. Then he slipped and didn't have a chance to pick up Salmon. So well done by Essendon. They created that space. A good start for Salmon too, Pete, to get away with the goal early.
So Paul Salmon from 45 metres. Already very close to the man on the mark. Drifts it slightly to the right. And he's only kicked a behind.
Steve Silvani is picking up James Hird, with Peter Dean picking up the tallest Somerville.
Well, that's good coaching by Parkin, because Hird's a very vital player, as you said, Ross, before the game. Here's Silvani. Oh, an ordinary kick to the half-back line. Very dangerous kick. Here's Hird. Strong tackle was by Whitehead. Here's Denham. He loses the ball in the tackle. They pounce in on top of it. Fraser Brown almost threw that one out, but by sensibly he's going to bounce it.
I thought it should have been a free kick to Fraser Brown anyway. Hird jumped him in his back.
A bounce just outside 50. Madden, Hird. Ball spills free. Ola Renshaw. A little quick give to Hills. Then he had his head taken off. Cockatoo Collins has got it, but the free is going the Bombers' way.
Yes, and Paul Hill's playing his first game for the season. Only playing 8 in 94 as well, so he's had a pretty lean time getting to the seniors, and that was the free kick there. He's already had one kick today.
We saw the Essendon reserves. It looked like a senior team, the Essendon reserves.
A lot of players in it.
Unbelievable.
Just goes to show their depth, but of course we only have depth when you don't have injuries. And
they won easily, by the way.
They did. The sun comes out, shining on Hills as he goes at goal and kicks the first one of the match. So the Bombers, we believe, with the breeze.
To the centre, good start for the Bombers. Madden and Somerville. Oh, Madden actually hooked that one down with the left hand. Oh, Long went in with the boot there. Was a little bit dangerous, but luckily it didn't connect. The player getting up from the bottom of the pack is Camporelli, Scott Camporelli, very quick player, being picked up by Ricky Olorenshaw. So again, with his Somerville and Madden. Madden tapped it with that extra reach he's got. Now this is Ratton towards the half-forward area. They fly. It's knocked away from Cook. Here's the dangerous Bradley, close to the boundary line. Oh, clever play by Bradley as he propped and then he found Bond.
Good shepherd too, Pete, to assist from Gleeson, just to give Bradley some time and space. Gary O'Donnell picking up the dangerous Bradley. See this again. Just see Gleeson just gone to ground, but he had enough time to keep O'Donnell out of the contest.
So a chance for a goal here to Troy Bond. He's normally a long kick. Oh, he kicks it out to the right and starts to swing it back, and he's missed. So he's actually a beautiful kick, Bond, Roscoe.
Yes, he's got plenty of skill and played the 21 games last year on debut, so had a pretty good start.
Fletcher to Wanganeen, back into the side to O'Donnell. The educated kick along the ground. Cook a chance. Hannah off the ground. Two Essendon players are there. Mercedes and Hills. Hills, you're in trouble. O'Donnell kicked it into the back of Bond. Hannah gets it forward for Spalding. Quick hand pass from a standing start. Hannah kicks into the pocket. Essendon with the numbers. Fletcher, good mark. Too tall for Bradley. Could have gone the punch. And Essendon come away with the football. This is Michael Simon. Still he goes. The Dockers running it out through Michael Long. Long at centre wing. Already into the thick of things. Up towards centre half forward. Silvani and Hurd. No mark. A play on call. Good decision by the umpire. Buick. Oh. Mackay. Madden. Good tackle by Hurd. Ball jarred free. Picked up by Buick inside the square. Was he tripped? Oh, Long. Still he goes, Michael Long. Tipped it in short. Player on his own down there is Mark McCurry.
Gee, what a great build-up by Essendon from the back line. A great mark by Fletcher over the back of Bradley. Backed himself, handballed onto Simons. Now they have a shot at goal. They almost over-possessed it there, Pete, didn't they? Buick just trying to be a little bit too clever.
For Essendon second, Mark McCurry, 35 metres out. It's close. He likes it. One behind. Trying to con the goal umpire.
Well, is that a dead-set con job by Salmon? Trying to con the goal umpire. As we see Michael Sexton bring it back into play. Silvani, who gave a magnificent smother about a minute ago. It was absolutely fantastic play by Silvani. I'm looking forward to that clash between he and James Hurd. The kick from Silvani. Oh, look at that holding up in the breeze. Fraser Brown. Oh, he went towards Matt. Salmon is there. He's got back up support from Mercedes. He was too slow to get rid of it. Ricky Olorenshaw finds O'Donnell. O'Donnell, the chip pass out wide towards Sean Denham, the former Geelong player. Caught. Gets in a hand pass. Enormous pressure out here. Here's Mercedes. Back to Olorenshaw. Coming through the middle of the ground. He kicks long. A beautiful long kick. Sexton at the back. Is that a free kick? I think it is.
Yes, Pete.
To the man in front. And let's see. As we see a free kick to Carlton. The hand pass comes out to Christo. Chips it to the half-back line. To Bond. Troy Bond. Brings it in long towards half-forward. Some pushing and shoving going on. Spalding's knocked out of it. He's got back-up support from Gleeson. He can give it to Camporelli, but he tries to bring it back towards the direction of Cook. Well picked up. Hand pass to Madden. Justin Madden fires for goal. Won't quite make it. And Gary O'Donnell punches it through for a behind, and Bradley's not happy down there.
Well, Pete, I thought Madden could have passed it to, I think it was Clapper, who was short, and he seemed just to kick blindly to the square, where O'Donnell was always going to be a chance to touch that.
Could have almost marked him too, Gary O'Donnell. He does the kicking in. Looks for and finds Gavin Wanganeen, the Brownlow medalist, back into the side today after injury from left half back. Wanganeen kicks to a congested centre wing area. Ball hits the deck. Mercury looking for someone going past. Finds Michael Long in great form already. Long centering kick to Cockatoo Collins like radar. Right thigh heavily bandaged. Target is hurt. No, he took the mark. Buick, right foot snap. He's going goalwards and gets there.
Ball gets it forward in the direction of Alessio. Peter Dean giving away a few inches. Here's Hurd. Look at the pressure by Silvani. Tremendous play, Silvani. Hurd normally gets those hand passes in, but he couldn't on that occasion. Terrific play by the Carlton defender. And he's in for a busy afternoon because James Hurd is a very, very clever player. The Bombers by 12 points. There's Hills and Hannah. Madden. Oh, good play by the big fella. In towards Bradley. Good smother of the ball. A difficult one. He has to look around. O'Donnell's hotly pressing him and obviously running with him.
Yes.
Roscoe.
Yep. We mentioned that earlier, Pete. So he's got the job there.
Centre wingers the throw in. Essendon by 2 goals. Madden with Alessio. Won by the latter. Bounces kindly for Denham. Doesn't know it. Stayed on the carpet. Flicks it back to Grenville. Alessio. From a standing start over the head of Silvani. Buick and Whitehead. Sexton. Whitehead will try to rush it through, which he does, and one behind.
So I think that might have been a kick, Pete, from Buick.
Was it?
Off
Yes,
the ground.
off the ground.
Nearly went through for a goal, and he does that now and again,
Clever.
doesn't he, Buick?
So he's kicked 1-1. We'll give it to him. 2-3 to 2 behind. Silvani. He was moved to full forward last week against the Eagles and finished up kicking 1-5. So I guess on that, it's no surprise that he's back at the key defence post and plays well at either end of the ground. Michael Long takes the hand pass. Still he goes long, outside 50, long bomb. And only one behind. Kicked by Michael Long. His first score of the day. 6 effective scoring shots to 2, and the difference 16 to 2.
Good shepherd too by Renshaw too, Pete, without jumping in there to allow Long to go free.
Adrian Whitehead to Silvani. Finds Hannah. Oh, dangerous kick. Oh, he gets away with it. This is Brett Ratton. Ratton on the left boot out wide, looking there for Spalding. Mercedes is theirs. And Wanganeen comes in. Oh, still in play, in fact. Quick hand pass back towards Spalding. All the players stopped. They thought it was over the line. Here's Bomber Thompson. He loses it in the tackle. The charge in over. It's tapped back beautifully, but it's taken by Simons. He races across the Carlton goal, and he looks good down there in defence. He finds Hurd. He slips Silvani on this occasion. Brings it into the centre to Denham. Sean Denham gives it off to Michael Long, who's in scintillating form, down towards the pocket. Is that a mark to Buick? No, it isn't. Here's Silvani. He goes to ground. Socket off the ground by Dean. Out here is Hannah. Hannah at half back. He's almost on centre wing now as he has a bounce. He backs himself in. Just pushed as he kicked it, which helped him to muck it up Mercedes to Renshaw. So the turnover allows Renshaw to come around centre wing, onto the left boot, down towards half forward, Hurd and Silvani. Oh, they all stood there and looked at it. Oh, goodness me, Sexton, he goes to ground. Strong players, Alessio goes in after it. Now Whitehead, he shuffles it out and Fraser Brown will take it away. Good play by the Blues.
Brown's kick towards centre wing. Simons again. Oh, heavy shepherd off the board on Madden. Now Denham. Beautiful pass. Darren Buick a chance for his second.
Their teamwork's been terrific so far, Essendon. They're prepared to run in numbers. Their chasing's been outstanding. They're tackling their forward line. Big Salmon's laid 2 or 3 tackles that really has held the ball up. Good to see.
Yeah, they were great tackles by Salmon, weren't they? Things the coaches love to see a full forward applying tackles like that. Darren Buick has kicked 1 goal, 1 so far. Usually a good long kick. He's about 45 metres out. And that drifts away to the right-hand side for only a minor score. So behind the Buick, his tally moves to 1 goal, 1. And the Essendon tally to 2 goals, 5. The difference is 15 points. Great start by the Bombers. Silvani. Not Silvani, it's Christou. Marking in the back pocket. Kicks over the head of Cockatoo Collins. Salmon and Spalding do battle. O'Donnell palms it out. Wanganeen chopped off in midfield. He's got it again. Wanganeen to Alessio. Looks set for a long bomb. Didn't get onto it. Up towards the 10-metre square. McKay battling for it. Hurd. Silvani goes in solidly. Sexton will go off the ground. Past Camporelli. Back towards Brown. Flicks out the hand pass and the Blues come away. Brown takes it again. It came from Koutoufides. Gleeson brought down in the tackle. Kicked to half forward. Good punch away by Fletcher. Opens it up for Clappe. Still inside the centre square. Clappe still chases.
Good play by Clappe. Out towards Hatter. He was grabbed, but he didn't have it. Oh, the umpire let that go. Come on, umpire. I thought that should have been a free kick to Hatter.
Yes, his umpire saw us too. Experienced umpire.
And still, it's a free kick. What's he paid that one for?
I think he said for over the shoulder, Pete.
Well, they've ended up with a free kick anyways. We see Cook chip it in short, finds Ratton. A further kick around, and this is Clappe going to have a shot for goal from 45 metres. The former West Coast Eagle. I think he's goal. Yes.
Against his old side. Ratton goes long into the forward line, and it rolls through for one behind. Kicked by Brett Ratton. His first score of the day.
Got the tough job on Michael Long too, Pete. Long's been pretty effective so far with 6 kicks.
8 points the difference. Fletcher to kick in. Yeah, Michael Long having a great year. Shaw. Ratton runs into goal and misses. Oh. Well, bad mistakes there on both sides.
Why would you play on?
Well, he kicked well. Firstly, Pete, you're right there, but the kick coming in to find Long amongst 3 Carlton players. Here's his kick. It is Long on screen. 3 players around him. Oh, gee. Could have paid dearly for that. They were lucky.
They were lucky. This time Fletcher, no mistake, he goes long. Punched away by Clappe. Umpire says a free kick going Carlton's way. Going to be taken by Koutoufides. Koutoufides well outside 50. Looks for Cook, finds him.
Oh, Fletcher totally misread that. Roscoe?
Fletcher?
Totally misread
it. Didn't he? The tune was going to come a lot longer, just holding up in the breeze, and he was caught very short.
So James Cook filling in for Steve Kernahan, relishing his elevation to the seniors.
Madden has come off in the usual change with Allen.
A little bit of a to-do behind play. Not really too much in it at the moment. And Cook has missed, I believe. We'll wait on the goal umpire. I think it's only one behind. It is. So Carlton missing a couple of ones that they should have converted.
Emergency umpire out on the ground speaking to the players, but I don't think kicking for goal is going to be easy today because it's a pretty swirling breeze out there, and looking at the seconds, some easy shots were missed too. Now the chip in, or they've gone the short one again to Simons. That was kicked in by Dustin Fletcher. No one on the mark. So Michael Simons brings it in towards Masiti. Masiti to the half-forward line. Hurd. Oh, he was about to go. Good umpiring not to call play on. He thought about it. The leader's on. Here's Salmon. Sexton was with him. Good play by Michael Sexton. He butters up, gets it back in the direction of Silvani. Here's Christou. Hands Christou back to Silvani. He'll keep going. We'll watch him. He just gets that scrambling kick. It's taken away by Hurd. Hurd to the pocket. It's all Carlton. It won't sit for them. And it rolls over the line deep in that forward pocket. And Peter Dean with that left elbow heavily bandaged.
Right forward pocket for Essendon. The boundary throw in front of round about 80,000 fans, we'd estimate. And the weather so far has been kind to the players and those in the stands. Alessio and Allen. Silvani over the top. Punches down for Dean or Whitehead. Neither can make ground to it. And it will be another throw-in.
Pete, Shea Cockatoo-Collins just came off before. He's got his right leg strapped. Barry Young came on for him. He's just trying to run around that boundary line. Perhaps a bit of a quaddie or a hamstring strain.
I thought I saw the strapping on him earlier.
Did you?
Yep. Brown. Hanna. Neil Hanna in great form this year. So too is Earl Spalding. And we've seen him have a marked improvement at his kicking at goal. He won't score from there, of course, too far out. It'll land round about 50, but Wanganeen reads it best. Gives it over to Bomber Thompson. One of the veterans in the side, the skipper. Was on the bench for a little bit last week, but came back well. Hills, centering kick from him, looking for Salmon, and finds him. Thought about going Salmon. Now gives it off. O'Donnell, long left footer. Silvani will punch from behind. Oh, great mark!
She's a good player.
He did that beautifully. He came forward, then ran back into Silvani to take out his space, and Silvani just got caught a little bit short then in trying to go up and spoil. Terrific mark. Just watch this again. He comes forward a little, Hurd, and then drifts back into Silvani. Just keeps him out of it. Not a very good attempt either by Silvani to spoil.
Shocking kick. Sir let himself down. Almost a mark down there. Umpire didn't pay it, and it's going to be a bounce. About 15 metres out from the Essendon goal. The Bombers doing most of the attacking in the first quarter. Goals to Buick and Paul Hills. As we await the bounce, Ratton and Long. Buick punched away by Ratton. O'Donnell outnumbered. Bradley out of bounds. Umpire says throw it in.
Well, I mentioned about the kicking for goal is going to be difficult, but Hurd's kick was an absolute shot.
Not like that, Pete. No, that's just poorly executed off the boot, or onto the boot, I should say.
So half forward line for the hit Alessio on the head. The quick kick comes towards the centre of the ground. Here's big Paul Salmon. Waits for it. He's got it. Goes to ground. Gets in a hand pass. Masiti to Gary O'Donnell. He brings it out wide. He's Hurd. What a contest. Well, he's a good player, Hurd. Look at the way he gets on with the game and brings it in towards the pocket. He was looking for Buick. He tried to mark one-handed. Sexton has got it. Onto the left boot, hooks it back to the half-back area. Hurd's there again, bounces over his head. Here's Simons way up the ground. Was he legged? The umpire said no. And by Silvani, Simons not arguing. It'll be a throw-in at half-forward.
He just put the ball down in front of himself, then had a little bit kick. It's very clever.
Oh, that had to be a trip of holding the man, didn't it? Hurd onto Denham. Denham sets it up for his forwards. The Carlton players are in the van, though. And a nice mark taken by the ever-reliable Andrew McKay. Now, McKay's got loose men everywhere.
No, a free kick. Yeah, Somerville pushed Sexton, Pete.
Well, it just held Carlton up a little bit there. The kick to half-back and Dean. Dean sees Ratton. This is a good build-up. He can chip it out wide. He's looking here for Cook. Oh, good mark. No. Or is it a free? No. Play on, says the umpire. Gleeson takes it to the line. Good attempt by Cook, but I think he tripped over.
Yes, and a change been made by David Park, and Sexton's coming up onto Hurd. Silvani goes back onto Somerville. There's the attempted mark by Cook. Play on.
Simons to Thompson to Wangadeen around Clappe. A little 9-iron shot in towards the centre square. Courage needed there. McKay showed plenty of it. Nearly caught with the ball. Flicks it onto Gleeson. A quick kick by the Carlton Rover in towards full forward. Great mark. Spalding has marked 15 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Just a bit too tall there for Joe Masiti, who's playing centre half back on Spalding. He backed himself in well done too by McKay to get the ball up to Gleeson. Just backs himself in here. Just pushes Masiti out of it. Good grab.
Well, I spoke earlier about his improved kicking. Don't let me down, Earl.
He'll kick it.
Obviously, distance not a problem. He has kicked it. Spalding gets his second and Carlton second.
Into this game, Denham had a quick kick. O'Donnell. It's it to Simons. Simons to the half-forward area. Thumped away by Chris Stewart. Good play. Here's Bradley. Good pick up by Craig Bradley. He's very good player, Bradley. Long kick to the half-forward line. Some pushing and shoving going on at half-forward. Umpire called play on. Fraser Brown, good play. In towards half-forward. There's a free kick to Fletcher. He was held.
Yes.
And the umpire said exactly that. Free kick to Dustin Fletcher.
Cook seemed to lose sight of that, Pete, didn't he? He took his eye off the ball completely.
So Fletcher to centre wing. Here's Somerville and Silvani. No mark. The ball hits the deck. Camporelli went in hard with the hip and shoulder. He can shoot this out to Fraser Brown. He's caught. Gets in a hand pass. Camporelli again, but it's not wide to Gleeson. Gleeson on the left boot. A one-on-one contest. Cook caught behind. Another free kick. I don't think David Parkin will like this. Don't be surprised if you see a change in the next minute, because 2 free kicks he's given away.
Yeah, that's terrible. You just can't afford. The players work so hard midfield to get the ball up to you. You just don't give it away so easily.
And also, Ross, being a forward, you must be in front of your man for that quick kick down the ground. It'll be interesting to see David Parkin's reaction, because Two vital opportunities gone missing and given away pretty easily. In fact, here's Masidi. He's gone wide. Now, is that out in the full or a throw-in? It was just touched before it hit the line. So throw-in at the 50-metre line.
Poor effort nonetheless. A minute left in the quarter. Koutafidis does the ruck work long. A little bit of basketball there. Koutafidis applies the tackle. That'll be high on Bond. Surely umpires has seen it. And Bond will take the free kick. Gives it to Bradley. Around O'Donnell. Or is he? Good tackle! Back to Brown. He goes at goal from 65 metres. This time James Cook.
That's better.
And that's the difference, isn't it, Pete? Wants to get front position. Exactly. Give yourself a chance.
Any score will put Carlton in front.
So this again, Fraser Brown's lifted his rating too. Denham's been pretty tight on him.
Now Brown is going to be, not Brown, Cook, right on the boundary line.
Bond coming up to Dean Rice to come on.
He runs around, kicks, looks pretty good. I think he's got it. It's a goal. So a mixed quarter for James Cook right on the siren. Carlton hit the lead at the MCG. And the scores, a crackerjack opening quarter. The Blues leading by 1 goal at the first change. Well, what a quarter. Essendon probably dominated Ross for about 15 of the 20 minutes. And Carlton in the last 5 minutes have made a real surge to hit the lead.
Yes, well, their form of last week, Pete, they only had 2 quarters where they kicked 5 goals. The other 2 quarters, they found it pretty tough against the Eagles. So you're right, Pete. Essendon certainly, I would think, dominated that first part. But then Carlton, to their credit, fought back. Their forwards got a few more opportunities. And once Cook got in front and got his hands to it, much better player.
All right, so let's check the scores at quarter time. Carlton in front. They lead by a goal from the Bombers, 3-5-23 to 2-5-17.
Complete the football week with Bruce, Mike and Mal. Talking footy, Monday nights on 7.
The MCG, Carlton leading by a goal at the first change. As we check the scores from other matches, 5 matches being played this afternoon in round 7 of the AFL. Geelong and Hawthorn at Cardinia Park. As the players and coaches leave the field, both had plenty to say during the break. Big game down at Cardinia Park for the Cats and the Hawks. It's always hard to win down there. Let's go to Dippo.
Yeah, thanks very much, Pete. As you said, both coaches had plenty to say, but they both said the same thing. Be direct, long kick, and give your forwards every opportunity to mark the ball. Because in the swirly conditions down here, it's very hard to pass the ball around. As I speak now, the light rain is falling, Peter.
Yes, well, we predicted it. I can tell you, Tony Lockett didn't take his place in the Sydney side today. Sirakoski has been carried from the ground out at Waverley, and McPherson has been stretchered off after a collision with Stewie Lowe. Geelong and Hawthorn at quarter time, 2-3 to 3-7, Hawthorn in front. And 2-7 to 3-2 at Victoria Park. Keep you up to date with the others. St Kilda 2-5, Footscray 1 goal. Second quarter from the MCG, the Blues leading in light rain. 6 points the difference. Brown up towards full forward. No mark taken. A little give by Masidi. Out to Thompson. Relays it to Wanganeen. And then he went out of bounds with that. Masidi along the ground, but only back to Brown from a standing start. Long bomb with the left foot. He's just off target and through for only 1 behind.
Got themselves into trouble there, Bomber Thompson. I thought he should have kept going to the boundary on his favoured left foot, and he gave it back to Wanganeen, who was in deeper trouble. Only cost them a goal.
Dean Rice, the comeback kid, 2 knee reconstructions. He's back into the side today. Fletcher to bring the ball back into play. Oh, what a mammoth roost that was. Madden has given away a free kick, I fancy, into the shoulder of his opponent. Is that on Lissio? Or was it Somerville? It's Somerville. Somerville short of centre field. Young in front. He came on for Cockatoo Collins in the first quarter. Koutafidis applies a tackle on Grenville. The sun comes out now. Mackay at half back.
So Andrew Mackay, an ordinary kick, a wobbly one, but look at the pace of Camporelli. Picked it up beautifully too as he slipped over. Terrific play by the young player. In towards the pocket. Fletcher tried a one-hander. He's got backup support there from Wanganeen. Or should I say a backup, Pete? As we see Long, look at that brilliant play. Ratton taps it back towards the line, then goes and gets it himself, hooks it back to the 50-metre line, and Gleeson taking the mark. Carlton have played well from 10 minutes before quarter time, and now they're going on with it too in front of goal. Here's Joe Mercedes on to Simon. Simon's trying to suck the Carlton player to come forward. He does so. Grenvold to the half-back area. Barry Young is on the ground. Ange Christou, well played to thump it back. Denham. Grenvold. So Grenvold looking down here to Hurd. Oh, look at that. Desperation by Silvani to thump it over the line in front of the Melbourne members. So he's back on James Hurd.
Yes, David Parkin said you got the job again. Sexton's gone back to fullback on Salmon.
Well, they've had some great contests already, Silvani and Hurd. So boundary throw in right in front of the MCG members stand. Madden at the back, punches to the front. Silvani got one high. The ball is over the line again. James Hurd will give it back to the boundary umpire, and we'll do it all again.
Kudafiti's off and Bond back on for Carlton.
Both coaches using the interchange bench freely. Alessio palms down, still can't clear the huddle, and it's going to be a bounce. Only spare seats available at the ground here, high in the western stand, so it's about 9/10 full, the MCG, you would reckon. It's like a pas de deux between those two, Alessio and Madden. Madden gets the better of the bounce. Nearly a throw. We'll call it a tap on. Bradley. Denham in pursuit. Bradley's kick towards left half forward. Marking contest down there. Rice got too far underneath it. And his teammate Clappe gets an awkward bounce. It's out of bounds. 70 metres from the Carlton goal. Northwesterly blowing at the moment, so it would favour that end. But of course, here at the MCG, the breeze does swirl a lot. Kicking for goal, not the easiest task this afternoon. Umpire might have found a free kick here. He has. Well, that's going to Carlton.
That is very, very good umpiring then.
Earl Spalding, the recipient.
No, it's got to go back to Fraser Brown, I'm sure.
That's what I thought he was going to pay the free kick to.
Fletcher in front. At the back is Somerville, who takes the mark. He goes across goal. He's found Simons. And Cook stands the mark. Simons pretty good in the first quarter.
5 and 4, Pete.
Created a lot of opportunities, including a nice run down the ground. Wanganeen and Gleeson. Wanganeen with the speed. Good chase by Gleeson. The kick by Wanganeen, looking for Michael Long. He doesn't let him down.
Oh, look at the pace of Long.
Didn't he make up some ground?
Well, he's come back from a knee reconstruction and tremendous pace. Here's Hurd and Silvani. I'm really enjoying this. Look at Hurd going to ground. All over his neck and shoulder. Had to be a free kick. In fact, it was really against Peter Dean in the finish.
It was.
So Hurd is a sensational player. James Hurd in towards half foot. It holds up in the breeze, but Big Alessio is there to mark over the top of Justin Madden.
Is that possible?
Well, from the side at least.
That was a good effort. Bit of quality about this player. From the Hurd free kick to the grab just on the left of screen. Up he goes. Read that well.
Well, Madden didn't really jump or put the arms up, so won't be an easy shot for goal. Swirling wind, as we said. He'll have to kick from about 51 metres. There's a drop punt. A beautiful kick. Clears the fence for a goal.
Alessio, it's Carlton going back into attack. Kick up towards half forward. In fact, into the forward pocket. Fletcher, is that out of bounds on the full?
Yep.
It'll be a Carlton free kick to be taken by James Cook. Now, Cook kicked one from the first quarter from a similar position when he ran around. It'll be a fair bet he'd try the same again.
He's got to run out.
That's the angle confronting him, so a bit of daylight between the posts.
Terrific camera shot that, isn't it? Run out and snap it.
That's what he does. Off he goes. Snaps and snaps truly. It's a goal, his second. So James Cook has kicked 2 goals, 1, and Carlton go back to the lead, 4-6 to 3-5.
Yes, and his last 2 kicks have been very important for Carlton.
Increased their lead, I should say. 7 points the margin is now.
And he also should learn too, as Pete said before, that if he gets in front, he gets the opportunity here. Obviously a kick from a free kick, but he's trying to play in front more often now.
Back to the centre. Madden hooks it down with the left hand. Ola Renshaw goes to ground. Umpire calls play on. A quick hand pass by Ratton in towards Rice, taken by O'Donnell. Well, O'Donnell didn't quite take it, and eventually the umpire will have to come in and bounce. Just like the way Carlton are playing at the moment, Roscoe.
Yes, they've really lifted their rating, and their midfielders are getting more of the ball.
So Madden against Somerville. Madden hooks it with left hand. Oh, well played by Gleeson, out in the direction of Hannah. Hills has got him. Long has been terrific, Michael Long, and they love him, the Essendon crowd. Centre wing is Mercury. Mark Mercury. Very talented young player, brings it in towards the half-forward area. Alessio couldn't mark, went one-handed. Hurd got it back to him. Off the ground, the Carlton defence working overtime here. Dean, free kick to Carlton though. A holding decision, and it will go here to Fraser Brown. This is good play too, because he spots out of the corner of his eye Christo. He loves to run the bounce. And will he go the booming kick? No, he'll go the hand pass to Hannah. Hannah will probably go the long one to Cook. Cook leads out wide into towards the pocket. Might mark. No, he tips it. Wasn't a real good attempt.
Wasn't a good kick either, Pete, I didn't think.
Here's Ricky Ola Renshaw. Coming around centre wing, he's getting plenty of support out there as he brings it in towards half forward. The pack develops, and the ever reliable Michael Sexton has taken the mark.
Sexton to Milhana. Hannah at left half back again with plenty of space. An absolute Barry Crocker of a hand pass. Hills, Thompson straight to Dean. Well, a couple of ordinary passages of play there.
Well, Hannah was let off the hook, wasn't he?
He was. Dean's kick, pinpoint accuracy to Gleeson, who marks in front of Denham. Carlton certainly lifting their work rate after about midway through the first quarter, or they could have upset their apple cart there, but Bond takes it. Had a little stint on the bench in the first quarter. Bond kicks towards left half forward. Clappe punched away by the Essendon defence. Ball hits the deck again. Wangadine got a little bit of a push. Clappe over the boundary line. So too is the ball, and it will be thrown in.
Denham is off, and Cockatoo Collins back on. And Salmon also coming off.
And Ryan O'Connor is to have a stint on the field. Well, Cockatoo Collins, just looking at him, he seems to be moving okay. Mercury, Wangadine, you're in trouble, son. Nobody there to give you support. It's out of bounds right on 50. So the Bombers finding it tough to pierce that very strong Carlton defence at the moment. And Hardwick also on the bench, so Kevin Sheedy looks as though he's going to ring another change.
Barry Young, I think, will be the player to come off.
He's not frightened to do that, Kevin, as we know.
Or swap them from one end to the other.
That's right. So another boundary throw-in, still in the same area. Spalding like a bull. Clappe. Good kick. Sexton. He's moved well down the ground. Cook to Hannah. Away goes Mill, right on 50. Terrible kick. And snared by Masiti. Gleeson comes at him, but he clears it over the boundary line in front of Bond for another throw-in.
Gee, that was great skill by Masiti to trap that ball like that. Good shepherd from a Carlton player to help Hannah get that kick downfield.
So forward pocket for the Blues. Spalding. Somerville came over the back. Here's Gleeson. Couldn't get his boot to it. Somerville hooks it out. Wanganeen close to the boundary line. He'll try and bring it around. Clever little kick by Wanganeen. Gained about 25-30 metres. And there's James Cook in the hands of the trainers. So he gained 25 to 30 metres in Wanganeen. As Paul Salmon getting some stretching exercises. So it's still at the half-forward area for the Blues. Madden and Hannah. Hannah won it actually in the finish. Clappe, Spalding, always works very, very hard. Here's Camporelli. Now, how the umpires see that? He'll say in the back for sure, even though it's an awkward one to adjudicate on, Ross, isn't it?
It is, but in the end, he was pushed in the back.
So he forces him forward. He actually grabbed him all right.
And then, look, that's got to be in the back.
Yeah, they don't always pay that one in the back. They're pretty consistent on that. Camporelli way out at half forward is going to set it up for the high markers. Here they come. Only one Carlton player flew against two Essendon. Oh, it's almost thrown out by Gleeson. Grabbed by Wanganeen onto the left boot. Cool, calm and collected, and he finds Simons. Those two are doing very well down there in defence. Michael Simons wearing the gloves. He's a very strong player overhead. A low pass finds Darren Buick.
Good kick.
Oh, great kick to Mercury. A tremendous kick. That's how you kick a football. In the Hills. Hills races into the half-forward area. Kicks, props it up high. Here they come from behind. A big mark going back. Is it Somerville? No, it was Alessio, in fact.
Well, it wasn't a good kick, Pete, was it, by Hills? It really sat up too high. But this bloke came from nowhere. Just snapped it over the front of the pack.
Well, I said a couple of weeks ago he'll play for Victoria this year, Ross.
Is Jared listening?
The chairman of selectors, I'll talk him into it. I reckon he's a greatly improved player, Steve Alessio.
Well, distance won't be a problem, Pete, judging by the previous kick.
Madden coming off the ground and Allen on as Alessio kicks and pops it through.
2 today after that spectacular mark at full forward. Masiti sweeping hand pass to accommodate Michael Long over Camporelli. Hills, nice gather, short of half forward. Away he goes again. Chips it in short. No mark taken this time. The Carlton defence on top. Sexton clears it out towards the outer side.
Great play, Silvani, then again.
Camporelli. Ratton. Looked for somebody going past. Nobody was there. Goes long with the kick instead. Up to Cook. Couldn't find him. Simons! Good tackle by Gleeson. Tappe a chance. Oliver Renshaw beats him to it. Will he give it to Wanganeen? No, he won't. Doesn't have to. Nice footwork. Hills again. You'll run out of room, suddenly he has. It's out of bounds on centre wing. Just to point the difference. If you saw the opening of our telecast today, you'll note that these two sides have had some thrillers in the last few years. And this one's certainly shaping up again. Too high on Hills. He'll take a free kick on centre wing. Haven't seen too much of Hills this year. Essendon a runner out there, Brian Wood. Silvani and Hurd. Oh, Silvani! Oh, got to be a free kick.
I would think so, Pete.
No doubt about that one.
He's trying to do a Trevor Barker, Sauce.
Yes, looked like it. He gives it away quickly. Buick. Straight to D. And Kevin Sheedy would be very unhappy with that. Hannah. Played a great game last week. Ange Christou. Short of centre wing. The Wolf. Good mark taken by Fletcher with the gloves.
Cook just conceding a bit too easily there.
This is where they miss Kernahan.
Yeah, they sure do. He's kicked 2 goals though, James Cook.
Yes, he's done all right.
Somerville. Height of Essendon, a telling factor. This guy loves a run. Oliver Renshaw. Kick not great. Might be
Downfield, Pete, yes. Got pushed right in the back.
And the Carlton runner also out delivering messages. Scott Camporelli on the end of that one.
I don't know whether...
There it is.
That's not 50 metres.
Well, downfield is not actually
downfield, Pete.
You don't agree anyway.
Yeah, but it should have been brought back.
Mark Thompson, the captain, 49 metres out. Won't quite make the distance, and off the hands of Pack, rushed through for one behind to the Bombers. So, scores are level again. Kevin Sheedy looks on interestedly. We've passed the halfway mark of the second quarter, and Dean to kick in.
Dean finds Silvani. Silvani can give it to Hannah, although that would be a little bit risky. So he elects to bring it to the half-back area. Gary O'Donnell and James Hurd spoiled each other. Well, the hand pass was to no one in particular. Back it comes from Hills to Hurd. And a shocking kick by James Hurd. Some of the kicking has been very, very ordinary. You can't blame the win for it every time. Hannah to Silvani, Christou. Silvani in trouble. Oh, dodges the tackle. Gets it to Andrew McKay. McKay, the chip pass out towards centre wing. Here's Sexton. Breaks the tackle. Onto the left boot. Straight up in the air. Oh, good mark, Spalding. Courage.
Mark.
Enormous courage shown by Spalding then. He's a much maligned player by the Carlton supporters, but he has been a good player for them since coming across from Melbourne.
That's a bit harsh, Pete. He's not that maligned, is he?
He is. Oh, you speak to Carlton supporters. They can him all the time. Here's Cook. Oh, he misses the one he should have taken, James Cook. Here's Gleeson. And over the line it goes, about 25 metres around from the behind post.
7 minutes left in the half. Scores level again. Brown, Rice. He's not going anywhere. tackling, I think, today, well, it has been a feature. The kicking certainly hasn't. Both sides have tackled very, very well. Gee, it's crowded down there. Bradley couldn't take a clean possession. Yeah, that was nearly a throw. They might get away with it, Essendon. They do. Hills gives it to O'Donnell. He goes educatedly along the boundary line. Joe Mercedes picks it up outside the line, and it will be thrown in. So good little clearance there by Essendon. Kudafiti's about to return to the field. Ratton. Oh, gee, that's casual. Grenvold. Now the bounce is going to be a factor. Rice, Hardwick nearly had his head taken off.
Oh, that was a free, wasn't it?
Goodness me.
Whitehead and Buick. Buick says thank you very much. Oh, Christou went in. Looped over the top. Mercury and Mackay. The latter slips over. Oh, Buick cops a ripper.
I don't think there's much in that, actually.
Professional free kick, I think that was.
Yeah, Dean Rice comes off. Kudafiti's back on. Here's this.
Oh, I got him right in the nose.
I just adjusted his nose.
Sexton has taken the mark anyway.
Oh,
Centres the ball. Do you need to mark this, Allen? Then he does. Away to Dean. Carlton will get clear. Ratton, they're coming down the centre of the ground. Long kick by Brett. Well inside 50. Straight to Fletcher. Thanks very much. Thanks for coming.
Well, Cook had gone the other way, and Ratton kicked it straight to Fletcher. Geez, there's some ordinary football at the moment. Down towards Hurd. Oh, look at that. Good mark taken by Allen. He's going to be a good player. Some of the kicking skills are very, very ordinary at the moment. Allen to set a wing. Peter Dean puts himself in front. Here's Hills. There is a lot of pressure out there, though. Somerville, O'Donnell, Ola Renshaw. Nice hand pass. Cockatoo Collins kicks it long. Christou and Alessio. Oh, Alessio couldn't quite hang on to it. Hurd gets it back. Buick kicks it in midair. Oh, goodness me.
It's clever, isn't it?
He's put it through from behind. He is dangerous, Darren Buick. And gee, Hurd's a good player.
Yeah, no question about that, Pete.
Still feeling his nose. It is still there, Darren, I can assure you. But as Ross said, it's moved a little bit, I think. Hannah.
One through to Buick, Pete.
They hurt on a cold day. It's not that cold today. Milhana, good kick distance-wise. Dean underneath it. Did he get it inside the line? I think he did. Just. Right on the boundary. Peter Dean. Ratton, bump ball. Long chases. Ratton across his body. Spalding. In possession at half forward. Onto Bradley. Danger for Essendon here. Still he goes, Bradley. Centering kick. Gleeson. Perfect vision.
What a kick.
Fantastic kick. He's found it pretty tough going, Bradley, against O'Donnell, who always plays pretty tight. Just the 4 kicks for Bradley, but terrific on that.
So Adrian Gleeson directly in front of goal. A chance to regain the lead for Carlton. Hit the post. So scores level again. One behind, kicked by Gleeson. Let's look at the mark again. Well, the kick more particularly.
Yes, and the pressure coming from Wanganeen, just getting back, but not quite quickly enough.
Play continues. A little short kick out from fullback. Mercedes has got it. Ratton will stand the mark. Mercedes also short. Long has a little bit of a look. See if he can get clear. And on the end of it, Grenvold, no one standing here.
So David Grenvold, the ex-South Australian, to Cockatoo Collins. Good punch away allows Allen to pick it up. And onto the left boot, a long kick in towards the full forward line. Over the back is Fletcher. He's got some support down there from Wanganeen. Hardwick, oh, they're getting themselves into trouble here. Back to Wanganeen. Plenty of poise. Kevin Wanganeen to the half-back area. Peter Somerville. Now Hills. He's getting plenty of touches. Hills. Caught. Breaks the tackle. Brings it into the half-forward area. Andrew Mackay back after. Cockatoo Collins. A little bit too much pace. 2 former South Australians against each other. Well played, Cockatoo Collins. Down towards the half-forward area. Bomber Thompson goes to ground. And eventually it rolls over the line about 25 metres around from the Essendon goal.
You could almost call for a free kick there to Bomber Thompson. Certainly carried forward.
3 minutes left in the half. O'Connor and Sexton. O'Connor, clean possession, no one to give it to. Buick applies a tackle. Whitehead, still he goes. O'Connor underneath. Oliver Renshaw, touched off the boot. Brown. Ratton. And the Blues away again. Long kick once more by Ratton. Up towards midfield. Clapay a chance. This is Bond. Nice gather. One-on-one at the back. Fletcher didn't try to mark. Just boloed it towards the boundary line. Will that be a free kick? Yes, it will. He was out of bounds. And Wanganeen will take the free kick nonetheless. Back to Fletcher. He'll come around the members' stand side. Long kick, low kick. Mark McCurry will kick to half forward. Oh, decent old shove there by Silvani.
Who's that?
He's caught by Hurd.
He's got a free kick for too high.
Well,
should have been a push, definitely.
That is, what can we say? You saw it all. Christou. Can't control it. Bounce very fickle. It's out of bounds on centre wing.
Well, another poor kick then out to Christou. That's what I say. The general field kicking has been very ordinary. Centre bit. Plenty of pressure on out in this game. Two pretty evenly matched sides. Allen is going to be a good player. Look at that intelligent player. Christou gets it back to Ratton, who's been outstanding. Oh, look at Long. Michael Long to half forward. And geez, that unsung hero, this bloke, he plays a good game every week, Sexton.
Very reliable, isn't he?
Terrific player. Christou marks. Oh, he's got to get rid of it. Well, just gets his boot to it before O'Connor caught him. Here's Somerville. Oh, good spoil was by Spalding, but the umpire's giving him a free kick. Peter Somerville on to Damien Hardwick. Gee, they got some depth, Essendon. Centre of the ground is Ricky Renshaw. Onto that left boot, a nice kick too. He's looking down there to Steve Alessio. He couldn't mark. Christou was grabbed when he didn't have it, I think.
Yes, correct, but he got the free kick.
And he'll get the free kick at half back. Ange Christou
plays on straight away. Allen, no one within a country mile of him. Long gives chase. Won't catch him. Centering kick, good catch. Somerville. Wanganeen bounces up nicely for him. The Brownlow medalist chips it in short. Simons. Was he off? No. Camporelli stands the mark.
Koutafidis isn't too fit.
Buick in front and marks in front of Whitehead. Kicked a great snap goal in the first quarter, Darren Buick. He's at left centre wing. Clock ticking down. We've only got about a quarter of a minute left in this half. And that might be the last scoring foray because Sexton has taken the mark. Gleeson. Cockatoo Collins chases. High kick. Wanganeen 0-1 there. The Brownlow medalist once again does the mopping up. And there's the siren to end the first half. And the score's all tied up. Carlton 4-7-31. Essendon 4-7-31.
It's really been nip and tuck, Pete, hasn't it? Players midfield for Carlton have really lifted themselves, particularly Ratton, who's had a terrific game, 15-3 on Long. He's had 11-2. And Alessio's given them focal point up forward, Pete, hasn't he?
Yes, he's going to be a very good player, Alessio, and they've certainly got some high marking strength with Somerville, who's getting down the back line too to lend a hand to Fletcher.
Yes, been important. Hannah needs to lift a bit.
Yep.
Allen's just come on to replace Madden.
There's
Silvani's having a tussle with Hurd.
So only 8 goals scored in the half and scores dead level at half-time. Kevin Sheedy comes down to go to the rooms. It's 4-7 each in the match of the day at the MCG.
Who said there's no fun in footy? 4 quarters. Friday nights on 7.
Echo, West Coast and Fremantle, and here at the MCG, Melbourne plays Brisbane. Check your local guides for our coverage on the boundary line. Who else but Dipper?
Thanks very much, Peter. Well, what an exciting first half that was, and I reckon the game's going to be one on the ground level when you see guys like Alessio and Justin Madden, also Sabin, going for the marks. It's the players on the ground level who are going to win this game, and Buick is an exceptional player like that, and also Gleeson, Peter. But a terrific first half, a lot of pressure down here. There's a lot off the ball as well, and very hard through the middle. And once again, because of the swirling winds, they can't muck around with the ball too much, and they need to kick the ball long and direct.
I was just about to ask you, Dipper, is any end favoured by the wind?
No, not really, Peter, because it is very, very swirly. But if they can keep the ball low, then they can sort of chip around. But once they start kicking the ball up high, then they lose all control of it.
Okay, thanks for that. Both teams back onto the ground for the resumption of play. And let's check some of these team stats now to half-time. First of all, we go to Carlton, and Ratton, well, been pretty busy, 15 kicks.
Yeah, you looked at his rating very much so on Long, who early doors was very good. And Earl Sporting took a few good marks there, and they're pretty even. Hannah found it difficult to get in the ground, in the game, I should say, but lifted his rating. And their midfielders just getting a few more possession. Silvani lifted his game too on Hurd.
Isn't Sexton a terrific player down there,
as we said, very steady, and he's one fellow you can always rely on, Pete, isn't he?
Let's look at the Essendon ones now. Gavin Wanganeen, he's been busy in the back pocket. Michael Long started off well in the opening term.
Yes, and Hill's also in his first game for quite some time. Two Beats been very steady. He can just adjust his kicking a bit and be a bit more effective. But again, those midfield running players, Hurd started well, but as I mentioned, Silvani tightened up in that second quarter.
A little team huddle out there. Craig Bradley, the acting captain, with Steve Kernahan on the sidelines.
Bomber Thompson coming off too for Essendon, Pete, along with Paul Salmon.
Just a bit of experience on the benches, and a bit like last week, we had Williams and I think it was Madden on the bench, and Kernahan at one stage in their match out at Princes Park against West Coast. Now we ask the question, is Thompson injured, or he's just not quite ripe at the moment?
He's had problems with those calves, Pete, where it was difficult to run out a full game. He's getting problems with tightening there, so maybe just a precautionary thing.
He did come back late last week anyway to play out the last quarter, so you're probably correct in that.
Mitchell, Allen and Bond for Carlton onto the bench.
So a very important first few minutes of the third quarter.
That's been going on, that huddle, for most part of the game.
Been a good duel, Camporelli and Renshaw.
And the two H's, Hills and Hannah.
Scores level as we start the third quarter at the MCG. Between 70 and 80,000, we'd reckon, here to see this round 7 match. Madden to Ratton. No one out there. Dean Rice gets his hands on the footy, but he's not going to get a disposal because it's out of bounds. The comeback kid, Dean Rice, 118
great
games.
Performance, Pete. Great performance to even be playing football.
Two knee reconstructions.
Yeah, it's a great compliment to him that he's come back.
Fantastic. Somerville over the top. Clappe leaves it for Brown. Probably could have had a dip at it himself. The umpire will bounce it.
Ryan O'Connor's gone to centre half back on Sporting. Mercedes seems to have an on-ball role. Started in the middle for the start of this third quarter.
Madden and Somerville. Past Hannah. Brown, standing start kick. Travels 35 metres. Gleeson in front. Gets out marked. Good mark by the Brownlow medalist. He's been excellent down there in the back pocket. Oliver Renshaw has also been good. Hills making a rare appearance this year so far. Up towards half-forward. Cockatoo Collins missed what he should have taken. Opportunity for Hurd. Farms it out. Not a good hand pass. It comes back to Grenvold. Slips over at the crucial minute. Gives it over to Silvani. Silvani short of half-forward. Got poleaxed. Still Carlton go. It's Brown from Koutafidis. Clappe thought he had the mark. It was a bump ball. Goes off the ground. And Season getting it over the boundary line at left half forward in front of Hardwick. It's a throw-in.
Michael Long's gone to a pocket. So Mercedes gone up to run with Ratton, who was very damaging.
There's Matt Clappe on screen, the former West Coast Eagles player, and he played a few good games for the West Coast too, so
that he did, yes.
Just shows how strong they are. So at the 50-metre line, Ryan O'Connor versus Sporting. Sporting trying to claim a free kick there, the umpire having none of that. Number 43 you see in the bottom of the pack is Anthony Koutafidis, who limped off in the second term, so that's good to see him out there. Super quick player and very, very big up top, as you can see. Obviously done the weights. We see Spalding winning that hit out. He's been a good player, punched away by Somerville. Here's Grenvold racing after it, and he's a typical defender. Roscoe straight to the line.
Actually, yes.
So another throw-in to take place. Anyone's game. Scores are level. As the punch Out wide comes to Fraser Brown, who's doing well. Bradley to Brown. Great smother. O'Donnell holding the man.
Yes, definitely.
And they'll have to come back. No advantage. Oh! Now, how the umpire reads this? He's saying that O'Donnell's staging a bit, I think. And he's not going to ping him for 50. So
His foot or his ankle.
Oh, yes.
Right ankle, Pete, and he got trodden on again.
Anyway, the kick down to half forward. Sexton again. She's a reliable player. Doing well. Michael Sexton brings it wide. All Spalding was grabbed as he ran for that ball by O'Connor. The umpire missed that. O'Connor up in the air towards half forward. At the back is Buick. At the front is Whitehead. Back it comes to McKay. Sexton is there. Hurd scoops it out. Buick in towards full forward. The mark taken by another reliable player in Peter Dean.
Would have been a free kick anyway for mine if he hadn't have taken the mark.
Well, they've got a very good defence, Carlton. There's no doubt about that. Every one of them is a desperado. In towards half-back. Great mark. Is that Grenvald?
Yes, it is.
Way down there. So David Grenvald is marked about 70 metres from goal. But both defences on top at the moment. Grenvald brings it in towards half forward. Madden sets himself, doesn't attempt to mark. Tried to tap it long, gets it to Cockatoo Collins. Quick hand pass, finds Denham. This is Basiti. An ordinary kick was out towards Grenvald. He's got plenty of time though to go back and chip it in towards the pocket. The lead is on by Long, but he's marked it close to the boundary line. So Michael Long will kick from about 45 metres. Very acute angle, but he is a left footer, so he's on the right side of the ground. And it's nothing is beyond this man. So Michael Long, a chance to put the Bombers in front. He's kicking just inside 50, a low trajectory drop punt, won't quite make the distance. Madden doesn't attempt to mark again and punches it through. I thought he could have marked.
Well, I thought so too, Pete.
So the Bombers hit the front by virtue of that rush behind. 32 plays 31. Ange Christou. Out to his look-alike, Silvani. Oh, Dean was asleep. You don't often see that. A player of his calibre.
Gee, they were lucky to get out of that.
Massini gets ridden into the ground. They were. Oh, they're not out of it yet. Cockatoo Collins. Gang tackled. Ratton comes out with a footy. Well played, son. Kicks it up towards midfield. Marking contest. None can take it. Wanganeen well down the field. Brushes one tackle. Still he goes, the Brownlow medalist. The pass into Hurd. Terrific mark. Great play.
That's a good mark.
Maybe too far out the score. Buick makes it lead. Centering kick to Simons. Couldn't take it. Brown caught. Now Mercury. Snapshot. 40 metres out. Has missed. One behind. Two behinds to Mark Mercury. And two behinds this quarter to Essendon to make the difference 2 points. 33 to 31. Paul Salmon looks on. Chipped out by Ange Christou. Kicks the ball. Well and truly long towards the outer side. Oliver Renshaw takes the mark and gets a little bit of attention. He's too far out to score.
Fraser Brown a bit of trouble too, Pete, on the half-forward line.
So Ricky Oliver Renshaw, a low trajectory kick. Ange Christou back with the flight, but gee, defence is way on top. He transfers play. He's looking here for Mill Hanna, and he found him in the back pocket. Hanna, oh, dangerous play. It'll come off. Oh. They're taking some chances, both defences, with the short passing. Andrew McKay calling for someone out wide. Here's Madden. Will he try to mark this one? Yes, Big Justin. Now he's going to, I thought he was going to try something fancy then, but he elected not to. Down towards half by Spalding, well done. Getting his body in front. Ratton again. Fraser Brown, now Camporelli. The lead is on a low trajectory pass. Now, is that a mark? Umpire said no. He didn't quite control it long enough, Dean Rice. So it'll be a throw-in at half-forward for the Blues as Colin Seary, former North Melbourne player and the runner, speaks to Dean Rice.
No goals scored in the third quarter so far. Only two behinds to Essendon. One of them rushed. Clapper a fumble and then a kick across his body out in front of goal. Could have been a free kick back there for holding. The umpire lets it go. Wanganeen takes the hand pass from Grenvald. Still he goes, the Brownlow medalist. Kutafiti's chasing. Won't catch him. Bounces just on 50. Nice palm out by Alessio. Couldn't get it to Long. Dean Now Silvani. And Wanganeen still running. This way, that way. Sexton comes at him. No one to give it to. Finally he goes long out to Denham. Denham's kick from centre wing. Dean. Is anybody being held there? No, says the umpire. Now Mercury takes the hand pass. McKay comes at him. He kicks, but he's off target. 3 behinds in this quarter to Essendon. Opportunities being missed. So Mark Mercury has kicked 2 of those. And he's kicked 3 for the match. 4-10 to 4-7.
Well, Gleeson's on his own out here at half-back if it can reach him. But, Hurd, fantastic reading of the play. Great play by Hurd. There's 2 men on the mark, so Hurd brings it in towards full forward. It'll clear the pack. Danger here because Essendon, well done by Alessio as he gets to Ricky Renshaw. He hooks it around the body on the left. He's kicked a great goal. Well played, Alessio.
Camporelli gives out the hand pass. Carlton go forward. Brown from Koutafidis. Ratton. Now back to Camporelli. Kicks in towards the forward pocket. Fletcher. Hardwick. You'll have to go, son. He does. On to Somerville, who does the mopping up work. Goes across goal. They need to take the mark here. Grenville couldn't do it. Goes for the boundary line. And O'Donnell, has he kept it in play? He hasn't. He seems to be moving okay after that clash with, who was it, with Brown before?
Brown, yep.
He stood on his ankle. And he wasn't too happy about the treatment meted out to him. But he's moving all right. Madden and Somerville. Somerville gets poleaxed. Hardwick. Now Koutafidis. Ball bounces very kindly for him. Over to Christou. There's the Wolf. Rice in front of Hardwick this time, and he takes the mark. Dean Rice. Lead from Spalding. Now Wanganeen. Back to Hardwick. Lovely smother by Rice. Ball still in play. Holding the ball! A great play!
What a tackle.
Play of the day by Dean Rice. Just absolute desperation.
Sensational stuff.
Just followed up the smother initially, then went straight through. Wanganeen thought he was on his own.
Good umpiring to pay it too, because he had every chance of getting rid of it.
Gutsy decision, but reward for the perfect tackle. And Dean Rice, looked like a bear. Kicks it goal. What's he done with that one? Might have missed it, I think. 1 behind. Certainly deserved better. So 1 behind by Dean Rice after that tackle. It's now 4-8 to 5-10.
So let's have a look at this smother. He smothered that, and Ross, the perfect tackle you'd call it.
Yeah, look at that.
I don't think Wanganeen was expecting it. He just stood there. He might have been watching Scott Chisholm too much from the Dockers. He stands here and then runs round them, doesn't he? He's a little beauty. As we said, coming to half-back, here's Mercury. A good running side, Essendon. Masidi. Hurd and Silvani. Look at Hurd. She's a good player.
6 marks, mate.
6 marks, and he's on quality opposition. Christou and Long. Well played by Christou. Long and Cockatoo Collins. Fraser Brown's doing all right. Cockatoo Collins doesn't look too fit as he chased that one out on centre on half-forward flank area. Just didn't move all that well to that ball. So 60 metres from the Essendon goal. They've looked a little bit more dangerous up forward. Christou receives from Fraser Brown. Here's Ratton, who's almost best man on the ground. Centre wing, well played by O'Connor, a great trap. He brings it into the half-forward area, and Sexton, not very often he drops a mark like that, but he butters up and gives it to Christou. Carlton defence working overtime down here.
Brown, a nice balk to get around Grenville. Lobs it onto the centre wing position. O'Connor gets a rotten bounce. Spalding gives it away. Koutafidis to half-forward Simons.
He's had a good game.
Simons brings it back to the other side of the ground, the members' side, Renshaw. Hardwick over the top, Renshaw playing keepings off. Hardwick, longer hand pass this time. They set it up better. Renshaw onto the left foot, centering kick. Cockatoo Collins, he'll have to fly, son. Couldn't bring it down. Brown, he's defending pretty well. Ratton applies a tackle. And umpire Rowan Shaw's will bounce it 45 metres out directly in front of goal. Well, certainly the scoring not a feature of the match, but the tackling is, and the pressure. O'Donnell chips it in short. Tried to find Cockatoo Collins. Bradley. Masiti. Ratton again. Under Gleeson. Outside the square. Gleeson to centre half forward. Rice. Oh! Courage needed there. And Dean Rice had an abundance of it. Has fallen over now.
That's dreadful football.
Terrible.
Abysmal football.
Wangadoon. I don't know what stops they've got on. Grenville, did he play on? No.
He should have been having a shot for goal.
It was a bit too team-oriented there, Pete, wasn't it?
Grenville kicks to a pack of players. Now the ball fisted back towards midfield. Oh, bad knock on, but it goes to Grenville in the end. Grenville kicks to centre half forward. Alessio couldn't take the mark, and Dean does the tidying up work. He gets it on to Christo.
Well, at the moment, it's just going between the two half-back lines. Hannah. Oh, did that well. Well played by Mill Hannah. But Hill's read it pretty well. Will he be caught? It just gets in a hand pass. Long. Ryan O'Connor gets a shocking bounce. Simons, though, comes in to lend a hand. Michael Simons towards half forward. Here's Hurd. Gets a poor bounce also. Could have been. Look at Hurd still going on with it. Goes to ground, locks it in, and could have been pinged almost in the end for holding the ball.
Yeah, that's what the Carlton players are looking for. But Hurd's recovery to know where the ball was when it bounced away from him was just rather intuitive. You can't teach players that. It's just something you're born with, Pete.
Well, his dad played for Essendon 4 games, and his grandfather Alan was a former great player and president of the club. Now here's Gary O'Donnell in towards the pocket. Sean Denham. He's got Sexton to beat, and Sexton's a little bit too smart, and just allows it to tap over the line. It's about 50 metres around from the Essendon goal. Very low-scoring game. Goals at a minimum. Here's Camporelli. He's got a touch of class. Oh, he's kicked into the man. Some of the kicking around the ground has been very, very ordinary. And you can't blame it all on pressure either, Ross.
No, you're right. The skill level at times has been just ordinary. Salmon is on the ground now for Somerville.
Had a fair stint at the bench.
And Clappe coming off. Bond to come on. And I would say Justin Madden to come off shortly too for Allen.
Speaking of Justin Madden, he couldn't get clear. Camporelli, Gleeson, Christo, high towards centre half forward. Salmon leaps after it. Bounce is going to be a factor here. The Fish has got it. Will he give a hand pass away? A little bit of a dust up behind play. Play does continue. Christo, McKay, good tackle. Opens it up for Simons. Bond gets into his back. Umpire lets it go. Long was standing between them, so he didn't see it. Salmon across his body. Good effort by Gleeson to try to get back. Bradley does the mopping up work. And Carlton are going to run it out again. Ratton. He's been terrific, Ratton. Mill won't fall over here. O'Connor's got him, though, just the same. Blues, now a chance. Camporelli, long shot at goal. Hit the post!
Tell you what, they had Earl Sporting sitting out as Madden is coming off after with a blood nose, but I think he would have been coming off anyway. But Earl Sporting was out on his own for what seemed like 10 minutes. They didn't see him.
Yeah, on the other side, yes. If they hooked it back, it was maybe a certain goal. So Carlton's first score for the quarter, that behind. It's been all Essendon, but they haven't kicked enough goals for the amount of play that they've had. A beautiful kick in by Fletcher. Went about 65 metres. No mark to Hills, and might be a free kick to Bradley here for a push. So it would be pretty ironic if Carlton now race it down and get a goal.
Been pretty quiet, Bradley. 5 and 3.
Very quiet, Craig Bradley. But he can also cut you to pieces in 5 minutes. So he's a player that has to be watched all day. 5 and 3. 5 kicks, 3 handballs, but nothing happening for them up forward. Here's the kick, though, now. That's better. Someone has made a decisive lead. Fraser Brown it is, and he's marked 45 metres from goal, 45-degree angle. So Fraser Brown with the curly mop top, 11 kicks and 10 handballs. He's been a good player, Ross.
Yes, he lifted after about the first 15 minutes of the game.
Well, the Blues could do with this one, but goals have been difficult to score. A swirling breeze here at the MCG. Fraser Brown lines up. There's the drop punt across the face. Salmon flies. It's still in with Cook. Good play by Cook. Bond has a shot and he hits the post. A big roar from the crowd as Carlton desperately trying to get a goal. They trail by 6 points as we see David Parkin and Sergio Silvani there on his right. And Steve Kernahan on the left.
Well, what a game. Posters, low scores, some poor kicking, but the score is close. Well, look at that mammoth roost. O'Connor outnumbered. 2 Carlton players are there. Spalding, and he's got him. But Spalding breaks the tackle. Well played, the big Earl. Earl from left centre wing. Looks for Pearce. Pearce, not Pearce, it was Cook. O'Donnell. Quick hand pass away. Simons. And Wanganeen. Brownlow medalist. Low down to the big fish. Oh, unfortunately, a bad turnover.
This has gone on all day.
Straight to Ange Christou.
But he did read it very well, Christou.
Allen the target. Hannah was there as well. Simons. Michael Long. Let's see if he can run. Oh, look at him go! On the accelerator. Lovely Shepherd. Long kick by Long. Into the goal square. Deserved better. Off the hands of the pack and punched out of bounds.
Well, I think they won a premiership through that style of play.
Yeah. Did he try to torpedo then, Pete?
Actually, it was a funny one off the boot, wasn't it? It didn't come like a drop punt. So forward pocket for the Bombers. The last thing would be Carlton wanted as a goal here to Essendon. Hurds are loitering around there. Dean out here to Whitehead. Whitehead cleverly done. Free kick, Whitehead. He handballed it away. No, they're playing the advantage. The free kick was there. Silvani goes wide and finds Bond. So Bond way out here. Troy Bond, centre wing, looking for Rice. Oh, almost a one-handed
free kick, push,
and a free kick for pushing the back against Damien Hardwick. So Rice having a pretty good quarter. Dean Rice in towards full for Cook. Oh, he's flown high. Comes to Ratton, who's been outstanding. Looks for Hannah. Will it sit for him? He gets a poor bounce. Hills has got it. Oh, he drops the ball. No one had him, though. He just put it straight down on the ground. It was like a red-hot potato.
Well, he put himself into trouble, Hills, there, Peaks. He went back into the traffic rather than coming out to the flank where he had players free. He turned back into the busy area and got caught.
The bottom line, he was too slow. Fletcher. Mercedes. Oh, no one there. Straight for the boundary line. Will he find it? Yes, he does. Right on 50. It's out of bounds. Under 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Neither side this term able to get that decisive break. They will level at half-time. Currently, Essendon, who have dominated the term, leading by 6 points. Dominated the term in general play. Certainly not on the scoreboard. Ryan O'Connor pinched by Brown. No, it's still underneath.
It's an old-fashioned. It's an old-fashioned slog, isn't it? You know,
it's a slog, all right.
Line to back. Well, they've both got good defences, though.
Ryan O'Connor, number 41. Crowd finding some voice. Nice little attempt there by Mark McCurry. He didn't really want to get boot to ball because he probably would have kicked it out of bounds.
Yes, and Kevin Sheedy's moved Joe Mercedes onto Fraser Brown, and he's moved Wanganeen therefore down the forward line, now been picked up by Christou.
O'Connor and Spalding. Either gets an effective punch. Spalding to Camporelli. Out in front of goal. Rice a chance. Gets spooned up by Cook. Rice onto the left foot. Goes at goal and kicks it. The comeback kick.
Bomber Thompson back on the ground. Terrific play by James Cook to scoop that up, that hand pass, and give it to Rice. Oh, Koutafidis has fallen. I wonder what sort of stops he's got. Long receives. Off he goes, Michael Long. Boots it in towards full forward, but look at Peter Dean. Oh, he's dropped the centre. He read it well. This will be a goal. Alessio off the ground. Bad mistake, Carlton.
His third.
Couldn't believe Peter Dean to drop a chest mark. Fair income.
Well, the goal three-quarter time. We've got under 2 minutes. And again, the difference is out to 6 points in Essendon's favour. Bomber Thompson has it pinched away. Sexton.
Yeah, Bomber Thompson's back on the ground for Sean Denham.
50. 50
It is 50.
metres.
Fletcher bringing right up towards midfield. Cook coming back on the mark. It's a decent 50.
Well, he was a bit stiff, actually. He thought Fletcher was going to play on, so
True
he just
enough.
went a little bit wide on the mark. The umpire pinned him for 50.
Dustin Fletcher, that's a good kick. Alessio the target. Whitehead gets back quickly. Goes for the boundary line and finds it. In Essendon's left forward pocket, a goal here before three-quarter time in the context of this match should be more than handy. Whitehead the job on Buick. He's done a pretty good job. 35 metres from goal. Alessio and Allen. Alessio to Buick. And it's sandwiched under both of them there. And there will be a bounce. Minute 14 left as the clock ticks down. One goal in Essendon's favour. It was level at half-time. 6 points in Carlton's favour at quarter-time when they got a goal right on the quarter-time siren. Ball out towards 50. Three Carlton players are there. Camporelli gives it to Dean. He'll be very keen to make amends for what happened before when Alessio got that goal. Rice, oh, spring on the legs. Hardwick comes away with the football and gets nearly KO'd for his efforts. Back it comes to Masidi. Masidi from a standing start. Long. Will it bounce for him? It does. Centering kick by him. Beautiful skills. On to Mercury. 48 metres out. Goes it goal and has missed. Does that better? Four behinds. Kick by Mark Mercury.
What a vital kick that was. 32 seconds to go till three-quarter time in a cliffhanger here at the MCG. Not a lot of scoring, but plenty of excitement as Silvani brings it to half back. Whitehead. Gleeson. Have they got time? Koutafidis. Gleeson again. They've got 16 seconds to race it down the forward line. Simons flies at the back with that one glove. Grabbed by Hurd. Here's Alessio. What can the Bombers do? Alessio around the corner and puts it over the line and out on the full. And Simons has hurt himself.
Cramp, I think, is it? He's just got a bit of cramp, I believe. Siren due to go. In fact, there it is. The three-quarter time. A real low-scoring affair, this one. 4-7 at half-time apiece. And Essendon probably had 65% of the play in that quarter. And they've managed to stretch the lead, or manufacture a lead, of just 6 points. And the main offender, possibly, was Mark Mercury in that quarter. He kicked 3 behinds.
Yes, they worked pretty hard at times, both sides, and Essendon just looked a better side for me. Just seemed to have slightly better skills. But Carlton certainly hung in there, and Pete, I don't think my prediction at half-time of the winning side kicking 12 goals will come through.
No, we said during the commentary, it's an old-fashioned slot. There's Gary O'Donnell, and he's typical of the tight defence on both sides.
7 points the difference at the final change. We'll take a break. Back for the last quarter in just a moment. Around. He has plenty to say at the breaks and really getting right into his charges at three-quarter time. The reason? They trail 5-10 to 6-11 at the MCG. 7 points in favour of the Bombers.
7 Sports is proud to present this match as part of the 1995 Coca-Cola AFL Premiership season.
Well, testing out the tipsters today. Hawthorn still in front late in the third quarter over Geelong down at Cardinia Park, 58-46. A couple of goals the Hawks' way. At Victoria Park, Collingwood struggling against Sydney, and I believe Sydney has the wind in the final quarter, 9-7 to 7-15. St Kilda and Footscray out at Waverley, 7-10 to 10-13. The Saints not out of that. Footscray leading by just on 3 goals. And Fitzroy and North Melbourne, the Lions actually hit the front to lead by 10 points during the third quarter. Late in the term, North Melbourne leading by that same margin, 75 to 65. Here's Dipper on the boundary.
Thanks very much, Peter. Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of emotion in the huddles there. Both Sheedy and Parker had a lot to say to their players. And David Parker left the ground early and gave it to Craig Bradley, who obviously is not playing that well today, but he's certainly an inspiring captain out here today. Now, once again, they just said, keep the heads level, and the players who can pick the ball off the ground, the on-ground players, can win the game for them.
Righto, thanks, Dipper. Well, the first 3 quarters have been nip and tuck, haven't they? 3-5 to 2-5, 4-7, 4-7, 6-11, 5-10. Here's what happened in the third quarter.
Yes, and Essendon not really taking full advantage of the number of times they went inside 50, 18-10 in favour of the Bombers, but couldn't quite capitalise whilst they got themselves in front. They perhaps should have been a bit further in front going by those stats.
Those taking up their positions for the start of the final term. The Bombers leading by 7 points as we begin the last quarter. There's been little between these two sides all day. Madden and Salmon. Bradley needs to lift. Hand passes to Camporelli. 2 fumbles. Still a clean disposal. Camporelli, long right footer at the 10-metre square, and it rolls through for a minor score to make the difference. Fight. Oh, wow. Renshaw and Camporelli. And who's the other Carlton player there? It's Ratton. And still they go. They're 1 behind. Let's see what happened. See how it started. The kick out comes to Fletcher. Renshaw, how did he get clear? Ricky Renshaw, short of left half-back flank. A goal the difference now at the MCG. Huge crowd in attendance today. Kick drops a little bit short. Bradley, McKay. Still he goes, McKay. Only to see Dustin Fletcher on the end of a missed kick, and there have been plenty of those today. A lot of turnovers. Cockatoo Collins hasn't been outstanding. Hasn't had that many opportunities, though, to be fair. Grenvold marking at midfield. Decides to play on. Oh, he didn't hear the player coming up behind him. Koutafidis puts Carlton back into attack. Typical of the mistakes that have been made in this match today. And Hannah takes the mark at left half forward.
Mil Hannah, 70 metres from goal. Cook's gone back. He's on the lead now. They've kicked it high and no one back there for cut. That is absolutely pathetic forward play by Carlton. Renshaw races away. A marked uncontested. We've seen that time and time again on the Essendon
Pretty
back line.
unintelligent play, but isn't it?
I know, that is just utter waste. Here's Bradley. Now they're a chance, the Blues. Bradley with a check side kick. A great attempt. Was it touch? Well, this might be a goal to Bradley. Yes! Essendon player thought he touched it. Scores a level. What a great kick by Bradley, though.
It's the second time he's kicked one like that this season. It's fantastic. Just backed himself. That's the sort of lifter that they were looking for, and obviously David Parker wanting him to provide.
Did Hills touch it?
Oh, gee, he's done that.
Well, he got a glove on it. If he did,
Might have needed 2 gloves just to get that extra quick.
So scores again level here at the MCG in a thriller. Knocked down by Salmon, albeit not very far. Ratton applies a tackle. Bradley again. Up towards Bond. Simons. Given him a little bit of a nudge in the back. Masiti to Brown. Spalding on the end of it. The Blues lifting their work rate markedly. Rice. Hardwick. Bond. Goes at goal. One behind.
Sure, great hands by Rice just to tap
the Blues in front. Troy Bond's 3rd behind of the day. So Carlton doing all the scoring in the final quarter. 6-12 to 6-11. Carlton by a point.
And remember, we said in the 3rd term that Bradley can cut you apart in 5 minutes. He's had a couple of quick touches. If he starts firing up.
Dustin Fletcher to bring the ball back. Salmon and Madden. The 2 giants out there. Fletcher goes to the outer side. Salmon in front. At the back is Long.
Good kick.
Long chips it short. A nice bump by Gleeson. McCurry, you're in trouble, son. Flips it up. Did he throw it?
Yeah, he threw it.
Yet another turnover. And that's one stat that really has stood out today. Ange Christo to take the free kick.
Yes, and Hills is coming off and Denham to go back on.
Christo, Hannah. Free kick to Essendon. Holding against Cook on Fletcher, and James Cook's just got to get that out of his game. Some of those...
So costly, Pete, isn't it?
Well, the players are battling their insides out to get it down to full forward. They don't want to see an easy turnover. As we see Sean Denham go forward. Michael Sexton, well played. He read that well. He gave support to Silvani. Sexton, he can chip it in short or kick long. He goes the long option. Here's Spalding setting. Oh, good mark, Earl Spalding. He's too tall for O'Connor. Played a fair game, Spalding. Oh, an ordinary kick again, though, and straight to an Essendon player in Wanganeen. They are mucking around with a Carlton on that forward line. So, Wanganeen, nice kick. Simons couldn't mark. Umpire calling play on. Here's O'Connor, handball, then tried to get a free kick, but the Carlton player didn't grab him. A lot of pace shown by Bond. Cleverly played by Bond. Brings it back where Dean Rice will fly to the back of Hardwick. Hardwick couldn't hang on to it. Well played by Rice. On to Gleeson. He was bumped off the ball. The Essendon players combined. Masidi gets it to Hardwick. He's caught. Loses the ball in the tackle. Spalding working overtime down here with Grenvold, and Grenvold takes it over the line.
It's not pretty to watch, but
Well, players putting themselves under pressure because some of the fumbling that's gone on.
it's quite remarkable how many mistakes they have made. Madden punches. Long on the end of it. Wanganeen. Doesn't usually waste a disposal. That's a real up and under job, but it's effective. Fletcher's kick to half forward. At the back cockatoo, Collins. Buick backs himself into the pack. Whitehead reeled without the ball. And the umpire will bounce it.
See, we've seen a lot of that gang tackling, haven't we, today?
Tackling has been a feature of the play, Pete, yes. And a lot of it's been very, very good. So Essendon, a chance up forward. Haven't had too many so far in the final quarter. Gleeson takes it away from them, momentarily at least, up towards centre wing. Bounce, certainly a factor. Salmon, and his comeback game. Hurd, been fairly quiet of late. He's certainly been their best forward by the length of the Flemington straight. Madden. Having said that, let me say that Steve Alessio has kicked 3 goals. Back to Dean. Peter Dean to Whitehead. Whitehead marking unopposed, short of half-back, no one on the mark. Buick finally gets there, gets it to Ratton, who's been terrific today. Ratton from half-back. Now Simons and Camporelli. Camporelli throwing it in front of him. Could have been penalised for holding the ball. Now on the Bond. Cook marking in front of Fletcher.
That's better. He's let out.
Yeah, it's a bit of a chance to atone for a couple of poor mistakes he's made earlier.
Cook getting the water on the hands to rinse down the rosin. You see that quite a bit with him. Might be a candidate for wearing gloves, would eliminate both. 45 out. Oh, it's a goal. His third.
Blues lead by, and they've started this final quarter looking very good. Bradley. They go forward again, the Blues. Dean Rice, punched away by Hardwick. Here's Gleeson. Oh, free kick to Gleeson. No, play on. Oh, did he pay the advantage then to Cook? Oh, that's not an advantage at all. As we see Hanna having a bounce. Mill Hanna. Handballs to Ice. Dean Rice from a set shot. Tries to pull it back, but only kicks it behind. Did he pay the free kick?
Well, I'm not sure about that. He seemed to bring his whistle to his mouth and then perhaps say, OK, play on, you had the advantage, but you're right, Pete.
Oh, if he paid the
really
advantage, it was certainly no advantage, but still. Fletcher brings it into Joe Masidi. He's been quiet the last couple of quarters too. So Masidi finds Ricky Olorenshaw. Carlton looking the better side at the moment. So Olorenshaw to centre wing. Christo at the back, doesn't muck around, he goes for the big fist. O'Connor lumbers after the ball and he looks tired. He's happy to see it roll over.
Nearly to the halfway stage of the final quarter, and Essendon don't look like getting a goal. I think that tiredness might be mirrored in a few of his teammates, Pete. Certainly the way they're playing. Brown's kick. Wanganeen probably could have got a free kick there for a high tackle. Umpire lets it go. Gleeson could make them pay. He does. The Blues on fire in the last quarter. Adrian Gleeson kicks his first. It's all Carlton. 8-13 to 6-11.
Yes, he's been a pretty good contributor, Adrian Gleeson. Always works very hard. This is one where we thought may have been a free kick to Wanganeen, but the umpire let it go. Play on nothing there in the end. Clever kick from Gleeson. He's had 12 and 6. A very important goal.
Well, Carlton have lifted. They're playing great football now. 14 points they lead by. Now big Justin grabs it. Justin Madden down to half forward. No mark. The ball hits the deck. Look at the tackling of Dean Rice. And holding the ball has been King. Oh boy. A kick for goal from 40 metres to Dean Rice. And has this game turned around?
Oh, you're not wrong.
Hardwick says the umpire, have a look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, definitely. Good decision.
Well, he made no attempt to handball it, did he? So Dean Rice is normally a pretty good kick. There it is. Right through the middle for a goal. Dean Rice.
Carlton looks set to remain undefeated. Michael Long. Little give to Buick. Back to Long. They need something to happen quickly, Essendon. Dean will punch. Alessio in front. Salmon at the back. Outnumbered. Socket away from Cockatoo Collins. Onto Brown. Will he give it to Whitehead? No, he's gone a little bit longer to Ratton. Ratton across his body. Then he hit the runner. And Madden leaps after it. One fumble. Grabbed by Grenvold. It's out of bounds. Well done, Big Harry.
I reckon he was 100 to 1 to be able to pick that up.
He looks like the Phantom of the Opera, doesn't he? With that bandage across the eye, I suppose. Gets the punch away. Onto Whitehead. Around Mercury. Measures the kick up towards half forward. Header! Back! Great mark! Plays it in front. Like Gaelic football, nearly. Kick lets him down. Downs took a right-hand turn. Shepherd by Fletcher for Hardwick. Still he goes. Hannah's nearly got him. Quick kick by Hardwick up towards centre wing. Players both sides very tired, but Carlton certainly finishing the better. Great tackle by Buick on Camporelli. Jarred free. Alessio's kick. Salmon marks.
He turns around quickly. He's got 2 players free. Oh, you must get around
Too
quickly.
late.
They'll get the goal. Barry Young. Boy, did they need that one. Oh, Young and Dean. Here we go. 9:13 to 7:11. The Bombers not done yet.
It's the margin. Can the Bombers fight back? They've got 10.5 minutes in which to do it. So Justin Madden versus Peter Somerville. Somerville won it, but taken by Fraser. Oh, great smother by Buick. Well played, Darren Buick. Nitty was grabbed. Young to Ola Renshaw. He's going on with it. Ricky Ola Renshaw. He's trying to grab it. You've got to make an attempt to get it out. Well played, Camporelli. And the umpire will bounce it half forward for the Bombers. They need a quick goal. It's 60 metres out from their goal. Brett Allen, Peter Carey, Rowan Saws, the umpires in a pressure situation. It was real hard slog this game. Young gets it out to Alessio. Alessio a quick kick. They need someone to take a mark, but Peter Dean is there. And this is a very good, strong, tough Carlton defence.
McKay certainly missed what he should have taken. Could have almost been in danger there. Yes, it was. The umpire has played it.
Grenvold made a great effort to get back there to make the contest initially. And then he just trying to get his boot to the ball. Just got Mackay high.
Kick has been given down to Whitehead. Down towards half forward. Hardwick tries to mark at the century, but Dean beat him to it.
Great mark by Peter Dean.
Oh, what a mark by Dean. Running back with the flight.
Oh, fantastic.
Certainly lacks nothing encouraged as Peter Dean. Plenty of leads being made. Cook. Dean too far out to score. Oh, lets himself down. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full. No, almost on the full.
And that's deliberate. He really tried to jag that in low trajectory to Spalding.
Madden. Left foot into the goal square. Here's a chance for Bond if he can gather it. Massini wears him down and he carts the ball over the line. So Carlton's right forward pocket. 8 3/4 minutes left in the final term. The Blues have made the break. In the context of the game, might be hard to see Essendon catching them because Carlton's defence has been absolutely outstanding today. If Brown kicks this, it'll be difficult. A snapshot has registered only one behind.
Been a good play, Fraser Brown, Ross.
Yes, 14 and 12. Is that plenty of it?
Gary O'Donnell to bring it back in. This game changed dramatically at the start of this final term when Bradley started to get a couple of touches, and
All they really needed, Pete, wasn't it?
yeah, they needed him to really lift. Here's a wobbly kick from Gary O'Donnell. Andrew McKay won't drop these. Geez, a strong overhead mark, and he showed a lot of courage to hold his ground.
Yes, two former South Australians there, Grenvold and McKay. Strong stuff.
So McKay's been a terrific player for Carlton since coming across, as Ross said, from South Australia. Now the leader's onto the pocket. Fletcher tried to flick it back to Hardwick. He got away with it too. Well played. Hardwick backs himself in. Then he chips it to Olorenshaw. It was a poor kick. Bradley waits underneath it. Hurry kick by Bradley. An up and under kick towards the half-forward line. Could have been a free kick against Hannah. Umpire didn't think so. Simons. And the umpire will probably bounce this one. He will at 48 metres out from the Carlton goal.
It's been all the Blues in the last quarter so far. Camporelli the last to get up the bounce in bright sunshine on the outer side. Simons looking for a free kick. Mercedes kick into space on centre wing. Bradley, who's had an excellent last quarter. Alessio nearly pins him. On to Dean. Geez, covering a bit of territory. Peter Dean. Christou. Been smothered by Cockatoo. Collins ineffective. Gleeson, he had his head taken off. Michael Long, Courage, onto O'Donnell. Standing start kick down to half forward. Over the head of Steve Alessio. Hurd. Needs support. Goes at goal. 7!
Well, I wonder if he was going to goal, Peter. I think you're right there. But given the benefit, it was a good pass.
Well, the end result might be just what Essendon need. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, Ross.
Yes.
Not brilliant stats for the Fish, but of course, as I mentioned earlier, has spent a fair time on the bench. 15 metres out, directly in front. Doesn't miss these, and has it. Salmon goals. His first for the...
Fight the game's right out, and they're clawing their way back in. They're only 9 points down. Let's see if they can go again. It's Joe Mercedes. Out wide. Camporelli. Plenty of pace. Hand pass over the top. Finds Bradley, getting plenty of touches now. Bradley in towards half forward. Good mark to Spalding. Off he goes. Oh, he's got himself into trouble. He looks for Koutafidis. Back it comes to Ratton. He's been outstanding. On to Spalding. A hand pass inside to Rice. Back to Spalding. Good play by the big fella. He brings it back in front of goal. And it's a mark to Bond. 15 metres out, directly in front. Look at the grin on his face as he gets up.
Well, he'd want to kick the goal first. And Plauder's coming back to Earl Sport, and all his teammates going to him to say well done, which it was. Teamed well here. And Bond wanted front posse.
Oh, he might have missed this, Bond. He's missed it. As you said, Ross. As you said, Ross. Wait till you kick it before you start smiling. And
exactly right.
Well, maybe that has let the Bombers off the hook a little bit, because that would have made it very difficult. He's not happy.
Almost impossible, I think. 10 points the difference. Essendon needs 2 goals. Over 5 minutes left in which to get them. A tall order. McKay, nearly the mark. Mercury, Olorenshaw. Back to that same player. Long, with speed, out of the centre. Salmon. Got a little bit of a nudge from Sexton. Not enough for a free kick. Rushed through
by
Steve Silvani. Won't make much difference. They still need 2 goals. 3 rush behinds to Essendon. 9 points the difference. Kick out comes to Whitehead, standing on his own at the 50-metre line. He gets on his bike pretty quickly. Hand passes inboard to Gleeson. Barry Young gives chase, won't catch him. Kick up towards centre wing. Looking for the free kick was Spalding. Umpire didn't call it. McKay! Oh, Hardwick. Gee, nothing in that.
It's coming back.
Coming back. He does get the free kick. Young couldn't take the mark. Good spoil by Christou. Mercedes, nice flipping. Back to Young. Ryan O'Connor, too far out the score. Booming drop punt. Oh, Alessio! What a ripper!
And his name written all over that.
Sensational grab.
It's been pretty important, hasn't he, taking those marks. Looking at his 4th goal now.
I took one in the second quarter. I think was as good as this, but
Floated in beautifully, didn't he?
And his name written all over it from the time it left the boot of O'Connor.
special guest on our Four Quarters program last night. Let's see what he can do with this. Distance won't be a problem for him. He kicks and goals. There's a kick in it.
Operation David Greenwald, well played. Mercury races in after it, so does Fraser Brown. And we've got just under 4 minutes of play left, and just when we thought that kick of Bond might be very, very important in the context of this game, particularly if Essendon get the next goal. Smothered beautifully there as Mercury went to handball. It'll be another bounce.
Certainly suiting the Blues, this, isn't it?
Well, they only lead by 3 points when they were looking as though they were about to run away with the game, but Essendon never, ever die. There's O'Connor, might have been held. Umpire couldn't quite see it. And it'll be another bounce. Just umpire's on the blind side then. Just now, we saw the push in the face by McKay. There it is.
Yeah, you can fend off in the chest, but not the face.
So umpire dead right. There's comes to ground. Sullivan. Here's Kurtafidis. Kicking it to the wide open spaces. Who's got the pace? Denham and Bond. They're both pretty quick players. It's kicked to the off the ground over the line to the far side of the ground. Still on the half-forward area for the Blues.
Under 3 minutes left in the match. So it's still there for the taking if Essendon is good enough. Carlton defence, though, has been pretty good all day. Madden, Masiti, Gleeson. That's a throw, says the umpire.
Yeah.
Gee.
Well, it's umpire Rowan Sawyers.
Mercury on his own. Masiti didn't see him. Silvani, good use of the body, overheard. Bradley, acting captain, telling him where to kick it. He says go short, which he does. Gleeson on his own. Carlton finishing the better now. A goal here would seal it for the Blues. Spalding the target. Wanganeen nearly comes down with it. Hardwick gives chase to the boundary line with Rice. He'll take him over if he can, and does.
Over the shoulder, Pete, free kick.
He made sure the umpire saw it too, didn't he?
Hardwick with the free kick at left half back. The clock ticks down. Over 2 minutes. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, over the shoulder. Good decision.
Definitely too high. Hardwick to centre wing Alessio. Couldn't mark. Barry Young. He's staging for the free kick. Tries to get in a hamper. Peter Dean thumps it back. Fraser Brown is there with Joe Masiti, and again the ball rolls over the line for a throw-in. So it's right on centre wing. Look at David Parkin and Sergio Silvani. As I've said many times before, who'd want to be a coach in this situation? Madden, there's that one that a lot of people talk about where the ruckman just thumps it back to the line to hold up and waste a little bit of time. But he got away with it. Madden versus Alessio. See if he'll go. No, he's not going to the line. Good play by Big Justin. Brings it forward to Dean Rice. No mark. Still going. Oh, Rice with courage. Tremendous play by Rice. Here's Hardwick. Desperation by all the players. Mercury to O'Donnell. He's lost it. Gleeson races in the goal. Adrian Gleeson's put it through.
Over the ball game. Gleeson kicking his second. Crowd of 73,753. They've seen another thrill between Essendon and Carlton.
Great desperation by the Essendon players here, and Gary O'Donnell just losing sight of numbers there. Ball going straight to Gleeson, and by G made them pay. But as soon as that goal went through, all the Essendon players in near that action just dropped their heads. Makes it very tough for them.
172 career goals to Adrian Gleeson in 170 matches. Some of them off the ground. Long is hurt. Long is hurt. He's down. He's holding his knee. So that is bad news for the Bombers. O'Connor. Hardwick. Close to the boundary line. Gets the bounce that he wants. Clock ticks down. Less than a minute now with Hardwick. Still he goes. Good effort, son. Get the hand pass away. He does. Masiti charges at it. Past Kurtafidis. Kicks it back up towards the centre wing position. No mark taken. Gleeson again, who kicked that previous goal and gave the Blues just that little bit of breathing space. Rice slaps it back. Some of them in the road. Leaps across the half-back line. Nothing on offer for him. Finally kicks it up towards O'Donnell.
What can they do, the Bombers? They've got 25 seconds. Here's Silvani at the back. The Bombers a chance. Salmon around the corner. They need a mark to Simons. He can't do so. He's got 2 to beat. And Peter Dean dives.
Free kick to Simons.
Oh, free kick.
For holding on.
I think they might run out of time anyway. He's got to kick the goal here, Michael Simons, from the boundary line. No, he's bringing it across with a short one. He's found Barry Young. Oh, he gets flattened by that. Might be a... There's the siren. There's the siren. The Blues have won, but Barry Young will have a shot for goal after the siren.
Let's look at the mark again.
Yeah, it's pretty untidy by Rattens.
Oh, well, you saw Barry Young. It won't make any difference to the result, but in the overall wash-up of percentage at the end of the year, it could. 42 career goals. He's kicked Barry Young. And what's he done with it? One behind. So one behind right in the final siren, kicked by Barry Young. Carlton have won the match. Still undefeated. Let's go down to Dipper.
Thanks very much, Peter. Well, a really old-fashioned type of game.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was fantastic effort by both sides, you know. It's like riding on it, and, you know, it's good to come through with the 4 points.
Now, the odds were against you today with some of the big names out of the side.
Yeah, I think we rallied behind that, you know, to show we are a good side. You know, the 2 great players, the 3 great players that are out, and just fantastic. The boys rallied. And
now, you've been around a long, long time, but you're getting better every week.
Yeah, I think we are. We're playing well as a team. You know, we've been a little bit more even this year, and I think we're spreading the workload across everyone. It's fantastic to win 7.
Well done, mate. Off you go. Enjoy it.
But I don't think I've seen David Parkin so excited to race onto the ground. He's running around to all his players, hugging them and congratulating, which is terrific to see.
The equivalent of the jacket-waving job of Kevin Sheedy.
But it's a great win, wasn't it, really? Because Essendon looked the better side for long periods of the game, but they stuck at it, Carlton, and when the game was there to be won, they lifted at the right time at the start of that final term.
Yes, and their senior players pretty well led the way. Bradley gave them that early goal. Pete Gleeson lifted. He kicked those 2 goals in that last quarter. And
I thought Spalding was fantastic at half forward.
Exactly, and gee, I tell you what, Troy Bond would have been cursing if he had side had gone down and he missed that shot, but worked out all right in the end.
Yes, I was just trying to get the glasses onto Michael Long. He did go down in a little bit of a tangle, and he was holding his knee.
I think what he did, Pete, he came through the centre very quickly and tried to kick the ball off the ground, missed it, so he might have just wrenched his knee a bit in doing that. That settled down fairly quickly, so hopefully he'll be okay.
Let's hope that's the case, because he was fantastic again today in a losing effort by the Bombers. So Kevin Sheedy loses the points today. Essendon's first defeat for the year. And the final scores: Carlton 10-15-75, defeating Essendon 9-13-67 before 73,500 at the MCG.
A 5-goal final quarter by Carlton sealed the game for the Blues. Cook finished up with 3 goals. Rice got 2. And Adrian Gleeson 2 singles to Clappe, Spalding and Craig Bradley. And for Essendon, just the 1 multiple goal kicker. That was Steve Alessio. He booted 4. Salmon got 1. Buick 1. That was in the first quarter. Hills 1 also in the first quarter. And Barry Young 1 goal. 9-13 Essendon and Carlton 10-15. Well, I mentioned in the call in the final quarter, Michael Long went down. Now, I said he clutched his knee. Having seen that in replay, what did you think?
Well, I thought initially, Pete, when I saw it live, that he'd come through and tried to kick the ball off the ground and missed it, and in doing so might have just wrenched his knee a little bit. Then, having seen that, he actually fell a little awkwardly, so he's obviously just twisted a bit. He didn't want to come off. The doctor went out and so did the head trainer, so he should be okay.
Well, let's hope that is the case, because great comeback. I said Dean Rice earlier, the comeback hit. He's had 2 knee reconstructions, but Michael Long, the way he moved, it's incredible the way that he can come back after such an injury as before. Second half highlights now. Heard you mentioned in the call, Ross, he was well held in the second half by Silvani.
Yes, he stole this kick out, and then the return kick into the forward line results in a goal here to Ollerenshaw, which was a pretty clever snap in the end. And so that kick out from both sides, you've always got to make sure it's spot on if you're going to go a little shorter. And if you're unsure, go long. And here we see Rice. This is just fantastic. He had a kick here. It finishes up further down the ground, and what we're looking for is a bit of a smother that he effects and then follows through with a fantastic tackle on Wanganeen. Here comes the smother now. Hardwick's kick, then he comes from the boundary line. Pete Wanganeen stands still and thinks, I'm free.
Wham.
No way, you're not. And Rice kicks that. He should have kicked a goal, or deserved a goal. He kicked actually a point there.
And
gets the goal here.
This is the goal here, which was a real lifter, and great credit to Dean Rice, as you mentioned, coming back from those injuries.
Good hand
and he
pass
did a
from Cook too, wasn't it?
It was, in fact, that gather and pass was excellent. Cook had an indifferent sort of a day. When he got himself behind, he gave away free kicks, but when he got in front, it was pretty effective. And Ricky Olenshaw didn't have a bad sort of a game, but they just lacked a few players to support him, Pete. Some of their midfielders dropped off a little, and that's a typical of some of the kicks went on today. Players running free, and this banana kick by Bradley, he's kicked one early in the year, and it was just outstanding. Parkin, I think, Pete, in that three-quarter time huddle, looked to Bradley to lift.
Oh, he did.
And that's what he did.
Best quarter of the match for him by far.
Yes, and this Salmon and Mark coming up shortly. This is a bit of team play from Essendon, where good tackle by Buick, the ball comes free. Alessio, who featured, as Pete mentioned, with 4 goals, and the Salmon Mark, and he just turned around in time, but I hate players when they do this. They turn with their back to goal. He had 2 plus 3. One was Young, the other was Somerville. He just got the ball up there in time. If he hadn't have turned around within a split second, he may have missed that opportunity. So the fluctuations there, Pete.
Well, Carlton, the green, you can see they're finishing the top with 5-5 in the last quarter.
Yes.
And after scores were pretty well neck and neck right throughout most of the match, and Carlton midway through the final term hitting the front and staying there until the finish to record a pretty good win in the end and still undefeated. Now, what happened in the final quarter? It was like this.
Yes, their centre efficiency was outstanding. You see there 75% to zip, and then inside 50. Once again, I like that stat because it just shows you how often you get there, and then alternatively to see how effective they have been once you've got that ball in the area. But their 5-goal quarter, Pete, they kicked 2-5, or had 2 5-goal quarters last week against West Coast, which virtually won them the game, and that 5-goal quarter in the end there was terrific. The other feature too today, which they didn't have, which they've had every game so far, is at least 9 goal kickers in all their games up to today. Today they had 7. So without Kernahan and also the generation of Williams through the middle, I think they did pretty well. Oh, Pearce, of course, which gives them that pace and alternative across half forward. So pretty good effort by Carlton.
Which made me change my selection from Carlton.
Well, I did nice luck with Essendon, but we're both wrong. Yeah.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. OK, I'm going to put you on the spot now. Your votes. I mean, probably a hard match to give votes in.
It was a bit, and I must say that there are a few players who played probably a half or 3/4, but Ratton, I thought, particularly early when he did a very good job on Michael Long and then got himself more into the game and got pretty good touches. I think that was something like 30. Wanganeen, I thought, handled the ball very cleanly for most part and had quite a few touches. And Long, whilst was held, as I mentioned, after a very good start by Ratton, moved out of the centre, and I thought, again, cleanly disposed of the ball better than anyone really. And there are other players you could have popped in there, but they're my 3, Pete.
Well, Bradley, great last quarter, but he was the captain of today, and I think he's got a clean record as leading Carlton as acting captain. Yeah, that's right. So they've got the points again. From the MCG, we'll take a break. A thriller, over 75,000 fans here, back in a moment. One down at Cardinia Park to tell us all about it. Drumels still celebrating in the Carlton dressing room. Let's go down to Dipper on the boundary. Any news from both the rooms, Dipper?
Well, obviously Michael Long just hurt his knee before he came off the ground there, and they've just iced it up, and we'll have to have a look at that in the next couple of days. But in the Carlton rooms, they were very, very happy, especially one person, and David Parkin. He was smiling and chanting, and where all the players was having their ice, their legs treated by ice and things like that, because they were just too tired to talk. No injuries as far as the Carlton rooms are concerned, and no reports, Peter.
OK. The 1995 AFL Premiership League ladder, brought to you by Coca-Cola. So still 2 undefeated sides. Richmond last night getting home from the Crows here at the MCG. And Carlton today, 7 straight at the top. Essendon today incurring its first defeat. They have 1 draw, of course, against Collingwood. Geelong only its 2nd defeat today from Hawthorn. West Coast to play tomorrow. Hawthorn by 5 points. And North Melbourne and Footscray making up the 8. As we move down, Fremantle, of course, tomorrow, the big Perth derby against West Coast from Adelaide, Sydney, Brisbane, Collingwood, St Kilda, Fitzroy and Melbourne still to open its account. The 1995 AFL Premiership season, brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors Australia, Qantas, McDonald's, Mobil, Carlton Draft and National Australia Bank. Well, the big Perth derby tomorrow, West Coast and Fremantle, and Melbourne and Brisbane here at the MCG. going to be a beauty. Ross, just while you're still there, West Coast and Fremantle, who do you like?
Well, I'd like to go West Coast. I think, Pete, they just had a bit more experience in these bigger occasions. It's a pretty big occasion in Perth. It's been right through the news the whole week, so it really just, I would think that West Coast would be the team to be favoured there.
Of course, the new stand at Fremantle at Subiaco.
Yes, looks fantastic too, but I must say.
So it's going to be a beauty over there tomorrow. Let's check the matches for next week now. There's some good ones here. Sydney and Carlton to open the round under lights at the SCG on Friday night. And then on Saturday we have Footscray and North Melbourne at the Western Oval. Richmond and Geelong here at the MCG. Collingwood plays Fremantle at Victoria Park. So 2 matches in succession out at the park for the Maggies. And Hawthorn and Melbourne out at Waverley. On Saturday night, Adelaide plays Fitzroy over at Football Park. And on Sunday, 2 further matches to complete the round up at the Gabba. A match taking on a lot of interest now after St Kilda's success today over Footscray. They take on the Bears, and then West Coast and Essendon, probably the match of the round over at Subiaco next Sunday afternoon. So 2 thrillers this afternoon. We hope you've enjoyed our telecast today from the Melbourne Cricket Ground. In excess of 70,000 here. Good afternoon to you all.
I got my scarf, got my old coat. I got a 40 game to go to. 40's on, 40's here again. Back to greet me like an old friend. And well, that's the thing about, that's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. I'll meet a friend outside the ground. We'll argue over who's gonna win. He'll go for his team, I for mine. We'll watch him slug it out right to the end. And show me the crowd and I'll take my place. I'm hungry for the taste of it. And well, that's the thing about, that's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. Football means to me. That's how I like my footy to be. And well, that's the thing about, that's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about I got a long road to walk down to catch a tram to my favorite ground. Use my legs, use my voice, make some noise, support the boys. And that's what football means to me. That's how I like my footy to be. And well, that's the thing about, that's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football. That's what I like about. Yeah, that's the thing about football.
This has been a 7 Sports production.